formula we are going to be using to solve what the blank is in our equation. So we have x squared plus 6x plus blank equals 0. So our next step in completing the square is to find what goes in the box, which in this case is b squared. So in order to find b, we're going to take 6 divided by 2, which equals 3. And we're going to plug that back into where our box is. Now we are going to rewrite our equation with the new information we just got. So we have x squared plus 6x plus 3 squared equals 0. Okay, so now we are going to once again rewrite the equation, but this time we're going to put x squared plus 6x plus 9. So we just squared the 3 equals 0. And then we are going to factor it into x plus 3 squared equals 0. And that, my friends, is how you complete the square. All right, so it is now time to move on to our next topic, which is solving a quadratic equation needing simplification. Okay, so this is our equation, and our first step is to FOIL whatever is on the right. So we have 2x squared plus 17x plus 31 equals x squared plus 10x plus 25. And we solved that using our basic FOIL method, first, outer, inner, last. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract everything on the right side and move it over to the left side so we can have the right side equal 0. So we have subtracting x squared, 10x, and 25 from both sides. And that is going to give us x squared plus 7x plus 6 equals 0. Our next step is to factor out the equation we have above. So we're going to have x plus 1 times x plus 6 equals 0. And then in order to solve for x, we are going to set each of the factors to 0. So x plus 1 equals 0, and then x plus 6 equals 0. And using our basic algebra, we're going to subtract 1 and 6 from both sides. So we have x equals negative 1 and x equals negative 6. And that is our answer. All right, so our next topic is going to be discriminant of a quadratic equation. So for this topic, we're going to start out by writing out our quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now, we're going to focus on only what's under the square root, which is going to help us find our discriminant, which will help us find the number of real solutions. So taking that small chunk, if it's greater than 0, that means there are 2 real solutions to the equation. If the discriminant, which we find from the equation, equals 0, that means we have 1 real solution. And then, if that equation, b squared minus 4ac, is less than 0, that means there are no real solutions to our problem. So keep that in mind. Okay, so now we have our equation, which is negative 3x squared minus x minus 5 equals 0. And what we're going to do is we're going to plug that into our formula. So b would equal negative 1. So negative 1 squared minus 4 times negative 3, which is a, times negative 5, which is c, equals 0. And once we multiply that all out, negative 1 squared is 1 minus 4 times negative 3 times negative 5 equals negative 60, which equals 0. So that gives us negative 59 and negative 59 is less than 0. So that applies to our third scenario, that if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, we have no real solutions. So our discriminant is going to be negative 59. And then our number of real solutions is going to come out to be 0. And that is all you need to know to find the discriminant and number of real solutions for a quadratic equation.